One's a former NFL star turned esports coach.
But I was getting the stink eye from my wife. She's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing."
And one's a dad who can't stop playing Rocket League.
These kids these days, they're like, blah, 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 blah. We're used to jump and run.
Together, they welcome you to Ahman Jon's Gamers Lounge.
Can't hear you. You're muted. Ahman is muted. Welcome into the Gamers Lounge podcast. I will be starting the Gamers Lounge. There he is.
Oh my God. All right. Human difficulties right there. Human technical difficulties. So now you can hear me. I'm your host, Ahman Green. Welcome to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. Good friend and teammate and co-host of the show, Jon Ahman. Jon, how are you doing? We'll do that again.
Yeah, I'm doing good. How you doing, Ahman?
Man, I'm doing good. New Year's here, but real quick, I'm gonna say out to the NFL fans and the family to Damar Hamlin. Hope everything is on the up and up. I know he's in critical condition now, so I'm always looking towards the positive. So big shout out to his family and support to the Buffalo Bills players and the organization to continue. Hopefully, as he comes back in good return to just living life. Not, I don't care about football right now. It's about him being okay as a human being. If anybody obviously watched that game, it was a short game because of Damar Hamlin tackling T. Higgins, and it's a condition where basically the chest plate taps the heart, similar to the brain tapping the skull. In terms of a concussion, he just shocked the heart and he collapsed on the field. So like I said, shout out to him. Hope he's recovering well, and support to the family. Thoughts are with you. I know prayers are with you. It's been a lot of big, action done by the NFL, postponing the game on site, and then other people around the league, players from all teams, supporting him and his family. So again, shout out to him in terms of healing up and getting back to normal living to his life. So, all right, Jon, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, that was just a scary situation. Never seen anything like that. And what they believe might have caused Damar Hamlin to suffer that cardiac arrest is what's called a trauma called I'm probably butchering this, commotio cordis. It occurs when a severe blow to the chest causes the heartbeat to quiver, leading to a sudden cardiac arrest. So it's just, it's honestly, like, I don't know how rare that is, but the hits that happen in football, like there are people are getting just banged, and that, even harder than what he had. So it seems like it was almost just like the right spot. You know what I mean?
And it's one of those things. It's like 1 in a million. I know a lot of it's usually because the bodies are underdeveloped when the injury happens, because it usually happens to kids and college players between those age brackets, because it's all about, your body being, muscle density and muscle around it, physical, those physical features around you that you're built up, that you can take the impact of a tackle. And that's why NFL players like myself, we always refer to car accidents. And that's what happens when we're getting hit. We're basically getting hit in the car, bouncing around. I mentioned the pinball effect? I get pinball around the defense, when I'm running. And that's why I ran low. That's why I initiated contact, because I didn't want to absorb the hit. I wanted to be the hitter, but that's the unfortunate nature of the game. And that this has happened, not just to Damar, but to other players and families out there. So like I said, again, let's hope his family is healing well, and continue support from the NFL, which has been great to see and watch and hear over the news bands. I took a day off. I didn't stream. I was going to stream last night. So I took another day off to just chill because of that, to kind of let things kind of come into focus for myself. So Riley Show, thank you. And Super Mike 88, thank you for that as well. So other than that, I said just chill for New Year's. It wasn't a lot going on. We went to a friend's garage. He has a business there. He does party buses, and it was just probably the usual few people there. Not few, but it was about 10 of us total, and just drinking, having a good time, laughing, joking. Things that nothing, out of the abnormal, which is actually a good thing, in today's time. So it was just a chill Sunday, or chill. I say Saturday night going to Sunday, and then Sunday went to the game, watched the Packers, keep their season alive by beating the Vikings, and the Vikings is the big question mark of the NFL, being that they're 12-3 and now 12-4, but seem like they can't put things all together to look like a dominant divisional champion right now, John. So that was it. So what about yourself, man?
I was in West Lafayette, Indiana for New Year's. So I just watched the college football playoff, which apparently was so insane because so I'm watching it. And what I realized is I'm watching a delay, right?
Right.
There's a delay. So I'm watching it. I'm like, it's almost midnight and Ohio State's driving, trying to win the game. I think that would have been a game-winning field goal, right? And I look down my phone, it switches to midnight. I'm like, oh, I guess it's 2023. And then seconds later, they attempt the kick and they miss it. So I watched Ohio State lose, which was pretty cool. But what I didn't know is that I guess, and this is what others have claimed, and I saw it on the internet, but I don't know how factual it is, that kick happened at 5, 4, 3,
right on it.
2, 1. Kick, no good. 2023, Ohio State's done, and
the season's over for 2022.
Yeah, it was crazy, like how that timed out. It'll likely never happen again. But I did that. I just kept it low key.
Yeah. We all watched the game too. It was some good college playoffs. TCU made the big upset there in the national title game there against Georgia, but that's going to be interesting. Georgia's good.
I was trying to figure out who Ohio State lost to. Thank you. It was Georgia.
Georgia.
What was I watching? I forget.
Right. So, it was a good game against them. So, it's going to be an interesting national title game this weekend. So, I'll pass it over to you, to our sponsors at BetOnline.
Yeah, so BetOnline is your spot to go if you want to check out the national championship game. It's your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Find the latest odds, team matchup information, player news, game trends. It's all at BetOnline. And as your continued source for all sports wagering information, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and giveaways all season long. It's always the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports and events, whether that's the NFL, NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, golf, all of it. Golf, esports, right? Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE. Now that's spelled BLEAV, BELIEVE, to receive your rewards. Bet online where the game starts.
All right, John. So where the game is starting for us, we're going to hit to quick hit news bites here. We got some fun, interesting stuff. And I say stuff that helps the pocketbook a little bit, right? And movies being rebooted. And this is your first one up.
Yeah, so I think this is kind of interesting because the way I kind of look at this, and this is from Yahoo, it says at CES 2023, Sony's Gran Turismo.
CES is starting in Vegas this week, I believe, this Thursday.
This Thursday?
Yep. Thursday through Sunday.
Sony's Gran Turismo flags new entertainment strategy. You know how movie makers recently, and they've done this for a while, in my opinion, sometimes they get, unless you're doing a franchise, right? You get lazy. You're like, ooh, that was a hit. Let's make another one of those. That one didn't do so well, but we'll do one more and just squeeze every single dollar out of it. Or they go, I don't know. What do you want to do? Oh, let's do the movie we watched 30 years ago and do it now.
And try to redo it. Yeah. It makes everybody, like my wife, Marie, not happy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Because you can ruin the old one for some people. But there's a new strategy now, and it's been like this for a while. But this article talks about Sony trying to make a movie based off the video game Gran Turismo, PlayStation's hit car racing franchise. And it reflects, they write, the transformation of the maker. Hold on. It basically just reflects that this is one of 10 game-inspired films and television projects in various stages of development. HBO's The Last of Us. There's God of War on Amazon Prime.
They just made that announcement last week. Once the game has been out for about a month and obviously doing well.
So and by the way, I like this strategy, by the way, because what you're doing is you're actually creating original content. Now you may say, what do you mean original? It's already. Yes, that's true. It's been a video game. But the point is that video game was original, like the concept of it and everything behind it. So instead of going back and saying, hey, let's remake this old movie from 40 years ago. No. Let's take a fresh new story that those outside of the gaming world haven't experienced. And let's make that an awesome new story for a movie. And I love that there are, 10 current ones in development, and this has been going on along for a while. The problem is, right, Ahman, you're not going to bat 1,000.
No.
They're going to be
in video game movies. Yeah.
There's going to be some big flops out there, but I don't mind the push. What do you think of all these video games, and not only games like Gran Turismo, The Last of Us, where they make these great series, but like the Mario movie, like we're going straight up like video game graphics, like Sonic.
Right. From last year.
I don't mind it. In fact, I kind of welcome this change. What do you think?
No, I welcome it as well. I said, but they just have to make sure the movie lives on its own. You know, the video game already lived on its own. You know, it had the viewers, it had the players, the cult is behind it, the fan cult is behind it. So now create that new cult for the movie, because you're going to get the players that played the game that they could say, you know what, we're going to go give it a crack at it, go watch it, and then we're going to give it our feedback. So the directors, writers, what I've seen in the past and what I've read in the past, like the people that directed and made Resident Evil from the video game to the big screen, they basically made it its own thing instead of trying to make it part of the video game. And they made it its own thing, but then they put elements of the video game. Just take a little bit of ingredients from the video game to say, okay, so the players know, okay, yeah, they got that from that part in the game. I remember, you know, that boss or whatever that you had to fight. So you had to almost, so as a writer director, you don't want to, like you said, copycat the game. You just want to make it its own thing, but take elements from the game to let the viewers, the fans of the game, be say, "Oh yeah, I feel you. I see that what you put in from the game, from that motion, from that scene, or what have you." So the successful ones has been Resident Evil series. I say the ones that kind of, didn't quite. Got the second base, hit a double. Me think. Maybe Silent Hill. Silent Hill was scary, but I don't think it like knocked it out of the park. They did a Silent Hill movie years ago. It was it had a good acting, was pretty good, but like I said, didn't quite knock it out of the park. I'm trying to think of another one here.
Do you think the ones that didn't knock it out of the park does that affect then the video game franchise? Like, are video game makers taking a chance by allowing these movie rights? Because like, let's say you have That's a great question. We'll use Last of Us, for example. It's not a bad example because it's such a good video game.
Like Sonic. You could talk about Sonic.
Like Sonic, but that's established too. I guess my point is, like, you have this great video game and then the movie sucks. Right. And then that affects in some way, doesn't it? Like your brand?
It a little bit, but from the game side of it, the players know that is a separation. Like they know the writers for the movies aren't the writers and the devs for the game. So when another game comes out later on or a year later, like, you know, not all the Resident Evils were great. Like the first three were probably outstanding with Milla Jovovich, the actress. So she was in a lot of them actually. But the first three were like the concrete, really solid ones that like blew that movie, that franchise, the cartoon, to anything spent off of that. That trajectory just took off after the first original three. And I think they're on like Resident from the movie. They probably like on 9 or 10, but they stop numbering them. They just apocalypse. The world is ending. You know, they just put subtitles in the Resident. They'll say Resident Evil, whatever, Zombie Land. You know, they just doing that now. So it doesn't have, you don't see Melly in there a whole lot now. She might pop up fighting somebody and then boom, she's gone, but she survived somehow. Again, that would be one thing I would not want to keep surviving is the zombie. I'm like, eventually, I just want to rest. I don't want to be ducking and dodging. But you know what? That's what zombie apocalypse is about. But a good franchise in itself. And I remember before the ball was kicked off for Sonic, everybody was giving Sonic graphics a hard time. You know, like, oh my God, he looks terrible. And so you got it. And I say devs and movie writers, directors, everybody that's dealing with the movie, they understand that process. They're going to hear that feedback from the fans, because fans we're probably the most critical people of anything, just like football fans, just like baseball fans. You know, we're going to give our teams the hard time. You know, we're going to give our movies, our comic books, our video games a hard time if they don't bring it like they brought it the first game or the first movie, stuff like that. So we could sit here and talk about this forever. This is right up my alley, John. This is a great article here. So you could go over where you found this. Yahoo. Look it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, great. But I can't wait for Last of Us. I cannot wait for that. I'm so excited. That's going to be on HBO Max. I have it already on the list of apps that I own. I think we're debating on getting Peacock now, because they have so many good shows on there that we got to watch. My wife's like, let's get Peacock. I'm like, we don't have it. It's only $5 a month. I'm like, oh, another one? These companies, they're so smart. They're doing a microtransaction. They took what Fortnite did to the kids. They're doing it to adults, and that's their microtransaction. They're getting us, John.
Yeah, because it's only $5 because they know exactly. It's this psychology, right? Like, I buy a $5 coffee, man. I'll go spend $5 at the convenience store or more.
Exactly. Every month for 12 months. But then when you get 1 million people to buy $5 of things that you are putting out as a company, that's great ROI on your investment. Yeah.
Paramount Plus got me because I wanted to watch the Packers Vikings game on CBS, and Paramount Plus streams the NFL games from CBS. And I was like, God, because I was on a bus coming back from West Lafayette, Indiana. And I was like, God dang it, I'm going to have to sign up for Paramount Plus. They're like, it's only $4.99 a month. I'm like,
yeah, they get you. They got that. You're on the treadmill. They got that. Like, you're on that hamster wheel. They got the food right in front of us, man. I like this comment here by E150. He said, I would say from back in the day, it didn't affect the games that much, just due to the Mario movie and Tomb Raider. That was another one. Tomb Raider. All. The first few with Angelina were good. And I think the last one, I can't think of the actress now. Last few, they were good as well. But he said, with things are now these days, it feels a bit different. So I definitely agree with you, E150. And he continues here. Plus, all the people making movies for these things nowadays grew up watching, playing, etc. These games, just like we have, John. So they have huge respect for them. Not look at Marvel and Star Wars. So you just have to have that respect. 100% there, E150. Yeah. Gotcha. There, that makes a lot of sense because go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense too. And I was just gonna say, do you remember, because you talk about grew up watching these or playing these games, so it made me think of Super Mario Brothers, because the new Super Mario Brothers movie, and it's done the right way. But remember the 1990, 89?
Oh yeah, with I can't think the actor's name. He was in Roger Rabbit as well, but he played Mario. It was John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo played Luigi. Yeah, I remember that. I was so excited as a kid when that movie came out, and when I got in the movie theater, I'll say, look, I'm an optimist. You know this, John. I'm an optimist. Even as a kid, I was an optimist. I wasn't into judging things hard, so I just looked at it like, I was like, okay, good. I just like, I'll get it on VHS, watch it again over and over again because I was a fan of the game.
But it's such crap because it gets back to here. Watch this. Look at this. This is the Mario movie.
I remember
what they thought we wanted to see as kids.
Right, and this was 89, 90. I was 12. I think I was.
Ain't 12. Nobody from the video game industry helping this one. There's a freaking dinosaur.
Where did the dinosaur come from? And she was the mom. She was the mom of Andor. She's Andor's mom.
Oh, really? Oh, that is Andor's mom.
Yeah.
But they got Mario shooting guns and like these weird creatures.
Koopa. I think
Look at that. Look how crappy that looked.
Yeah, it was bad. But we were 12. What? We don't know bad. We didn't know bad movies then.
I remember seeing this going, oh, this isn't anything like the video game. I remember thinking to myself, this looks weird. And it's the same thing they did to He-Man. Masters of the Universe movie. Did you ever see that?
With Dolph Lundgren, yeah.
That thing,
that
didn't look anything like He-Man.
That one was bad. I remember that one, and I was like, what is going on? I said, when did He-Man go to New York or wherever, California, LA, wherever, what city? I said, when did this happen in Grayskull area, whatever that the region they lived in? Man, I was like, huh?
That's what happens when Hollywood gets a hold of a story, though. They're like, we know how to make movies. Leave the video. It's the story that's like, no, this looks like crap. It's awful.
I think they've learned from that.
I hope so.
They've learned from that. So now, since then, a lot of movies that been from comic books, video games, and cartoons, and put on the big screen, the bigger screen, and apps now they're batting above 300. I'll say that. They're not batting 1,000, but they're batting above 300.
Okay,
I'll say that there. So let's get on to our next hit. We could talk about this forever on this one. Let's get over to the next one, so I can tell you where to save some money at real quick here.
Ooh, what do you got? I like saving money.
So we got over on PCWorld.com. Thank you. So buying a PC with an Intel CPU, it may cost you a little bit more here. Coming in here to 2023. And I know a lot of people that build PCs. I know E150, he's in that. He fixes them and he builds them too. So he knows what I'm talking about. So in the article here, it reads about the past few months, have been good times for buying and building desktop PCs. So with discounts galore on your computer components. So they included Intel processors. A shocking occurrence is given steadfastly Intel resisted price cuts in the past. So, but the good times, as they say, are running out, John. So right now in the first part of 2023, as reported by Tom's Hardware, Intel has quietly raised their suggested prices of the 12th generation Alder Lake chips. You'll see in a 10% hike up listings from the ARC product database. So that means prices are going from about $589 for the Core i9 12009K. That's at $589 going up to $649. So probably like a 20% increase right there. And then you look at other popular chips as the Core i7 12000K and the 12006K and the 12400K, all going from 450 to 318 and 211 respectively. So for all the builders in the house, so just make sure you be mindful of that, because I know when I do things, I always make, if I'm paying bills, if I'm planning an event, I'm looking at what is the most expensive thing all the way down to what I need least. So pay attention to that. And like I said, I know a lot of computer builders in the chat here and in my life. So check this out. Go over to pcworld.com, and it kind of gives you a heads up on what the quality of the TPU is, at what prices. So you basically get some of the CPUs you can, get away with the lower price by getting it. And it's still, even though it's not a high value CPU, you can still get it at a lower price, and it's going to give you the graphics you need to run Call of Duty Modern Warfare Part 2 or Fortnite or anything of that. So just be mindful of that. Don't just get caught up in, oh my God, I need a 4090, or I need a big CPU here to run this. No, sometimes the little guys can still get the job done. And then the price helps your pocketbook as well. So just remember that.
So that was from PC World. The only thing that it made me think of is, because the headline is buying a PC with an Intel CPU, it may soon cost more. And then it says like eggs and natural gas. Intel's processors have gone up in price too. Now, the thing with gas and eggs, right? I believe those prices will fluctuate, right? So as we get perhaps out of what's to come in years down the road, out of the economy, we'll see the prices fluctuate and throughout time. What I wonder, is it the same with these processors, or has Intel and different, it's not just Intel, it's all different.
Yes, Intel, AMD is the two companies competing against each other in this department.
And even outside of computers, like all different industries, are they going to raise 10% prices and then down the road, oh, well, that's just the price now. You know what I mean? Like that's the price of doing business. So it's kind of this time where all of a sudden, I don't know if that price ever goes back down, aside from sales and things of that nature, or if this is just like, well, this is what it is now, and things are just more expensive forever.
Exactly. It's just going to go between them and AMD. AMD is the other company in this industry in terms of CPUs and GPUs. They're like Nike and I say back in the day, Nike and Reebok, or Nike and Adidas. They're going back and forth on their shoe prices back then. So the same thing here. Price is going to fluctuate, like you mentioned. And the biggest thing is regardless of the price, is whoever makes the best product. Once it gets plugged into your PC and it shows the graphics, it does what it's supposed to do, regardless of what the price is. That's the one that's going to win out, because they're going to sell more. Because even though something is set at a lower price, if you're selling a lot more, you're making more money than the guys that are making the so-called bigger product, bigger, graphics, but it costs way more. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there you go. Go over to PC World if you want to read the rest of that article there. But now let's head over to this or that, John.
Yeah.
This or that.
Hey, I see Eeyore and Big B have submitted some this or that questions. Hey, if you have a suggestion for this or that, just send us a message on social media. DM us.
Discord. Jump in the Discord, please. You got
Discord as well. Get in the Discord and say, hey, I've got a great idea for this or that. Like Eeyore did. Eeyore, Big B, guys, thanks always for contributing to the podcast. Honestly, it's awesome. I love it. I love the interaction. The more interaction, everybody, more people interact. We'll use your stuff.
Yes, you do. All right, first one up.
Well, Rebel Alliance or the Imperials? How are you ever supposed to choose Imperials? Like,
no, never. you if you go to the dark side, even in the metaphor sense, I'm gonna look at you funny.
I got to go with the Rebel Alliance.
Exactly. Got to be a rebel for life. I got this. I got a screenshot. What is it on my phone? That's been my main screen on the back of my icons for about 10 years now. When we start, you could do that to your iPhone. So I'm a rebel for life. I'm gonna eventually get that rebel tattoo, the little symbol for it. I'm getting that.
What is the rebel symbol? What does that look like?
I forgot what it is. It's like I know it's a circle. Oh no, it's the circle, and it has like the. I know you're about to find it. You just got to type it in. It's
okay,
everywhere.
yeah.
It's everywhere. We got everybody. Big B definitely rebels. Eeyore says it's a cog. Oh yeah, it's the cog, like a wheel thing. And so, Big Baby Duke says the Imperials are the good guys. Really? See, Baby Duke, we're gonna look at you sideways. We gotta watch.
Is this what you're talking about?
Yep,
right here?
Yep. That's the Imperial Rebel symbol, or that's the Rebel Alliance symbol. Yes, we gotta check you out. We're gonna watch it back. Gotta watch you. Big Baby.
Yeah, watch. What is he talking about?
What are you talking about here? Sergeant Maul says definitely the rebels after watching Andor. 100%. Like Andor is just like icing on the cake for me. Like if I already in the sense of being in the rebel fight against the Empire, I'm doing that, and I want to be on the side of the Jedi's, all that, dropping on the hammer on the Imperial forces everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you want to be on the right side of history? Oh, Star Wars. Star Wars.
Exactly. All right, next one up.
Netflix or HBO Max. This is courtesy of Big B. Shout out Big B. Thank you. It's interesting because I was about to be like, oh, I got it. I don't have it yet. Because obviously, streaming platforms exploded over the last several years here, and everybody's taking their content back. So Netflix lost. I mean, Netflix 8 years ago had everything.
Yeah.
Like all the movies, all the TV shows.
Disney stuff. Yep.
Yeah, all of it. And then obviously that's not the case. And HBO Max gets these like movie premieres. Yep. And they've got fantastic. They've been doing award-winning series forever. Geez.
So we see where Big Baby Duke, Big B is a HBO Max, Big Baby Duke, Netflix, HBO or HBO there. Now it'd be a bit tougher. And then Sergeant Moss says Netflix has been slipping, so HBO for me. Really slipping? I know Netflix has some. We're gonna talk about Wednesday today.
That's big for them. Stranger Things was big for them.
Stranger Things is huge. Actually, Stranger Things got bumped off in terms of #1 views by a series. Is now Wednesday Addams that we're talking about we're recapping today,
which is insane because Stranger Things was like this cultural phenomenon, right?
Thank you, Christopher. Yep, exactly. It was because it brought back that 80s nostalgia of watching horror movies and paranormal and everything. It was like the music, like when the first season started and that first episode came on, that music that hit my eardrums. I was like, oh, I'm 10 years old again.
You know what? I'm going Netflix. I'm gonna go Netflix.
But HBO got Sopranos. I know you were into that as an adult there.
I've never watched The Sopranos.
Oh, you didn't watch The Sopranos?
No.
You didn't watch Tony being Tony?
I don't think I had HBO when it was on. Well, so I just missed. Well, maybe I did. I don't remember.
I like them both. So this is nothing against neither. But I'm gonna go with HBO Max because they got Warner Brothers. So I could watch all my Batman stuff on one app. Bam. So boom, that's how I make the decision.
Okay. I'll go Netflix because there's always something there. There's always, whether it's a comedy special, a new series that piques your interest, maybe a new movie, there's always going to be something there. I mean, I guess that's the same for HBO Max, but still, I'll go Netflix.
Yeah. And then Game of Thrones as well on HBO Max. They got heavy hitters. Some heavy hitters. All right, next one on the list of this or that. Let's get back to that.
Let's move on because
this is me now. Now we're on to what I thought of.
Would you never be able to sleep again or be able to sleep well, but always have nightmares? Ahman.
So you know where I got this from? I got this from watching Wednesday, because Wednesday, she's so dark. You know, that character actress, Ortega, she's done a great job. Jenny Ortega, I believe that's her name.
Yep.
A fantastic job of being that, embodying Wednesday. And so she's so dark and, evil. She has her little things about her. So I was like, that's where it popped in my brain. Thought about that.
I think I want to sleep well.
Yeah. But
At least you'll be refreshed with your horrific thoughts all day.
yeah, Christopher Holler says we already are not sleeping. Hey, he's thinking big. He's thinking big outside of the box type of matrix stuff there. There you go.
Hey,
I like it.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. All right. We got Big Baby Duke, sleep with nightmares. Okay. I say, what was it? We got Big B, sleep well with nightmares. I'm going to sleep well with nightmares too. I could deal with nightmares. I've had them before. I just wake up like, what was that about? Like, I'm always trying to investigate because I've watched a lot of movies sometimes, like, like Freddy, other movies where your dreams would kind of become real. So I would think about that. Sergeant Maul says, do you eventually die if you don't sleep? No, you just be super stressed and on edge all the time. I don't think you would die. Unless it's your type of, like, if you're driving and you don't have a lot of sleep, it leads to a car accident or leads to malfunction of whatever you do for a job. So maybe there, Sergeant Maul. Essentially, you'll get very cranky and do stupid stuff. Boom, Big B. That's what I was trying to basically say to you, Sergeant Maul. Big B nailed it. You can die from lack of sleep. Really? Like, you could die from doing something to lack of sleep because you can't focus, or you gonna actually die. That's what I need to know, Notorious. Your organs shut down. Really? Okay. That's scary. That's why I get my sleep. Notorious said, if you don't get a lot of sleep, John, your organs shut down.
Yeah, you die, right?
Dang.
You die.
Wow. See, that's why I get 8 hours, 7 to 8, man. You got to get it. All right, next one on the list here. That was a big one there. I like that one. All right.
Play Never Have I Ever or play Truth or Dare? Truth or Dare.
He didn't even hesitate. I like that.
Those questions would never have I ever. I guess you can do the same thing.
To be honest, when I'm watching, because it's a TV series on Netflix,
yeah,
I'm so confused because I'm like, okay, when you say never have I ever, what are you saying? Did you say you did it or you didn't do it? So I was confused when this first came out. So it's like never have I ever went on a date, with where I peed on myself or something. So it's like, right. So you did pee on yourself? Is that what you're saying? It messed me up. I was like, what's the shtick here? I'm trying to get it. I forgot I couldn't get it, but I'll go Truth or Dare as well, if that makes sense to people.
Yeah. Notorious says truth is just like never have I ever, which is true, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you ask truth, because he used to say, never have you ever peed your pants while on a date. Or truth or dare. Truth, have you ever peed your pants on a date?
Oh yeah, I really like truth. I'm like,
so it's the same thing almost.
Got it. It was confusing when it first became a thing when the series came out. I was like, oh, I'm lost here.
I don't know. I don't like never have I ever because usually it's in a group. I guess my experience, it's been in a group. So you have like 5 people and you're all asking, isn't there a game like that too where you hold up fingers or something? What am I thinking of there?
Maybe Candyman.
Anyway, the point is, so instead of just individually asking truth or dare to one person, like everybody has to answer it. And now everyone's answering, you feel weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Dares are scary.
Good point.
Dare are the scary thing, yeah. What is your scariest dare, John?
I have no idea. I haven't played Truth or Dare in forever.
No, that was a kid thing. I played it when I was like between 6th grade and 8th grade, and then once I got to high school, it was no more Truth or Dare. And I would probably do truth every time because I wasn't, or you know what? I was a dare kid. I would always dare. I didn't mind doing stuff.
You seem like a dare kid.
The Baby Dude says it depends on who you are playing with too. If it's me and a group of supermodels, I'm going to do Truth or Dare. Of course, you want to know that the dirty news with the famous supermodel. What's going on there? All right, next one on the list. I think it's close to the end here. We got a fun one here.
I like this one.
Yep. It just popped in my head.
Or sandcastles. And I've got the answer. It's a really fun question, but it's sandcastles. And the reason it's sandcastles is because you're at the beach. And if you're at the beach, my guess is it's probably a pretty warm day.
Yep.
And you're by the water and you probably don't have work. And it's probably good. Right? You're probably on a little
What if you're a Baywatch lifeguard?
You're a lifeguard making sandcastles?
Yeah.
Maybe.
On your break. You're on your break. You know what? Take a little break. I'm going to make some sandcastles on the beach.
Exactly.
That's what I would do. 100%.
Snow angels are in the snow, and that means it's cold.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather be where it's warm.
Exactly. Big Betty Duke is right along with you. Said John nailed it with the sandcastles, and Notorious Afro says sandcastles, angels are boring. You lie down in the snow and you're done. Sandcastles can be a whole world.
Let me adjust this question.
Okay.
So let's just, because if you're doing snow angels, then you can probably also make a snowman. You can also probably have a snowball fight. And if you're near a hill, you could probably go sledding. So it's this whole like little snow dynamic versus in the sand. What are you doing? You're making sand castles. What else?
You want a sandball thrown at you. That'll suck.
Yeah, in your eyes. You have to
get
go
your
eyes out.
The sand gets everywhere. Yeah, so we're breaking this thing down.
Like if you included snow angel, snowman, snowball fights, sledding versus sand castles. I know that's 4 versus 1, but still.
Yeah, it's like what Notorious. Oh, wait a minute, Notorious or not Notorious. Christopher says sandcastles until somebody steps on it or the waves come in. You're like, dang it. Somebody step on it, they're just being ornery because you can see it, but it's the beach.
Imagine kids in the beach. You don't even do anything. They just go make sandcastle, and like an hour later, they're like, "Want to do?" It's awesome,
right? And the Big Baby 2 says it's January in Wisconsin. Sand candles sound pretty nice. Yeah, yes they do. Yes they do. All right, let's head over to game releases, John. Game releases, sir.
Can't hear it. Game releases. For people who don't know, there's usually a sound effect that goes there. So if you don't hear the sound effect,
I hope they're hearing it. I hope somebody's hearing it. I hear it.
It's just like Ahman barking like a dog. It's so funny. I hope there's somebody here that has no idea. Like maybe there's their first time. They're like, I guess he barks like a dog when they talk about it.
So we're looking at the new games for 2023 and beyond. Man, there's so many games coming out that we'll be talking about later this year, but it's going to just bring up some of the top few that we thought that we're looking at like, oh my God, I can't wait. So start with you, John.
Okay,
you got
let's go back and forth. Because as I'm scrolling through this, the first thing, and by the way, I'm using my same strategy on this website as I do every week when Ahman sends the list of games. Like I just go like, which one sounds the best? And now I've got the added bonus of looking at the screenshots on here. So
and I love that, by the way. I love it.
Yeah.
You just give it a shot. You just throw it out there.
So the first thing that caught my eye was Star Wars. And what's the official title? Here,
Jedi Survivor.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Yeah.
Yep.
Like that. Here. That looks pretty dang fun. Anything with Star Wars, and now we're Jedi. And look, why is Wally in the background of this picture?
No, that's his bot. You know, every Jedi, it's like R2D2. I forgot his name though.
It just looks like Wally to me. That's
it's his name is DB1. That's his name. DB1.
Okay. BD1.
Or BD1. Sorry, I switched the letters.
Okay.
That's my. What is it? I can't think of it right now.
So they write picks up the story of Cal Kestis.
Yep,
and
Cal
his little
Kestis.
droid BD1, some 5 years after Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Apparently, this game is all about survival and will be much darker and more menacing in tone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my first one.
Yeah, that's back in March. That comes out in March of this year, so we'll be talking about that again.
By the way, great timing. It comes out like 2 weeks after Mandalorian does, right?
That's just. I mean, Disney has this marketing thing down to a science. I swear to you, they do it right, man. They do it right.
Just throw a bunch of Star Wars at you. Get ready for the month of March.
Right. You like one day you might hate them for some reason, but the next day they're gonna fix that, and then boom, you like love them again. And so,
did you have Star Wars on your list?
I also had Star Wars Jedi Survivor. As I played the Fallen Order, I completed that 100%. So just to hear when this last year came, got the announcement, I was super geeked, and that it's a continuation, and then it's leading to other things that are on the TV, on Disney Plus, like Mandalorian, like Andor, any of the Star Wars movies, and Android Rebels cartoon, all that. What's her name? Ahsoka has her series starting this year too. The Jedi, that was part of the Rebels cartoon series with, and it's played by Rosario Dawson. So I'm excited about that.
Okay.
So What's your next one here, Jack?
So the other one that caught my eye was, well, this is one that I've already, my daughter and I play this, and we were just playing it yesterday. Well, honestly, I sit there and look up how to do things on the internet, and she plays it.
Right.
Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah, I saw this down here. I'm gonna look. You keep talking. I'm looking.
Okay, so what I didn't like about this is I read it here. Let me bring Dreamlight Valley. Dreamlight. There it is. Okay.
There it is.
I just did a Control F, by the way, and just typed in Dreamlight. It's a magical new life simulation adventure where you get to live alongside and help a host of beloved Pixar and Disney characters, right? So it's kind of like Animal Crossing, and you're completing these little missions or quests, actually. But I didn't like this last line in gamesradar.com. The full free-to-play launch is set to come sometime in 2023. I paid like 20, 30 bucks for this.
Like, I want mine now. What's that commercial? I wanted my money now.
That's BS. Same thing happened with Rocket League back in the day. I bought Rocket League, and then a few months later, like, we're gonna go free. I'm like,
Right.
do I get my money back? You're just gonna keep that? That's such crap. I hate.
Yeah, that's how sometimes it works. Christopher Holler, yes, Andor is great movie or great series. Watch it. We just finished recapping that.
I gave it an 8.5. Who was that was asking?
That was Christopher Holler.
Christopher, I gave it an 8.5. It's in the last podcast. That means in my rating system, it's really good and you need to watch it.
100%.
Almost had a 9.
Yeah. What else you got? You got one more on the list here.
Yeah, I got one more on the list. The other one that caught my eye for 2023 was, where did I write this?
Right
After Us.
Right on the screen there, buddy.
And the reason it is because they had a picture of a dog, ghost dog or something. I was like, oh, look at that dog. I'm going to pick this one.
A little schnauzer. That's what it looks like, a little schnauzer.
After Us is set to let us explore the corners of surrealistic post-human world. The new adventure game is the result of a collaboration between Arise, a simple story developer, blah, 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 presents a gorgeous yet desolated play space for us to venture. Okay, here it is. After Us is designed to be a somber reflection of the destructive relationship between humans and nature. So expect tears to fall through this story of sacrifice.
There we go.
Dissemination. I don't know what that word is.
Dissemination. You said it right. Dissemination.
You're right. And hope.
So it sounds like basically the life you have with your pet.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, there is a sad ending when you buy your puppies or your kitty cats. So, but man.
By the way, before yours, did you see Big Baby Duke? Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is my whole reason for living right now.
Yep, I saw that. I was going to talk about, man, there's so many. I got about 20 games on this list. There's Street Fighter. I'm going to just go from them. Whatever I find. Street Fighter 6 comes out in June. I played this at TwitchCon. This was so fun. The graphics are awesome.
Yeah.
New characters, old characters. They brought back, hold on, I pulled the tab up because I'm like, this game, look, they got, so here's the character list right there. You got Ryu, Ken, Zangief, the Zalim, I know I'm destroying that name, E Honda, Blanca, they got Gao, he's back, he is confirmed, Chun-Li is confirmed, you got Cammy, DJ, Rashid, now something like Rashid, Jury, and Ed, I don't remember them from the original Street Fighters, but I know they're badass characters because I got destroyed by my good friend Tommy Pham. Remember when we did the combat for Rare? He was there with me, he was just beating me down, so I said, look, when this game comes out, so you got all your kicks and punches in now, I'm gonna get you when this game comes out in June, on June 2nd. And so go down the list. Luke, Marissa, Jamie, Mimi, Lily, JP, Kimberly, AKA or AKI, A.K.I. I don't know who that is, but the graphics are fantastic. I played this game. It was fun. Trying to think. And then One Piece Odyssey. I'm a big fan of the series. Haven't got into it yet. I know it's on and it's coming out, I think, this month in January. And then Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. Been hearing about this one for a long time. I'm super geeked about that. That's not till midsummer though, or start of the summer, May, coming out there. What else you got? And then of course Jedi Survivor, I already mentioned that. Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Any Zelda game, I'm gonna just reach out and grab that thing and go. And then for your Diablo fans out there, I know some Diablo people in the chat and people that tune in. Diablo 4 comes out, but you see the list of games. Look at that: Resident Evil remake, Bayonetta Origins. So it's that story there. And then just a lot of fun games in the years to come, Skull and Bones. And we're going to be talking about these games during the weeks here for game releases, but just wanted to give a rundown of what we'll be talking about, what would be hitting. We got another samurai game and Like a Dragon. So, oh man, it's so many. We can't talk about all of them, but there you go. Give you a little bit there for what is on the slate in 2023 of games coming out, John. So let's take it over to Recap Wednesday. So we're on What's on Stream now. If you can hear that.
Row, row, row.
Now row
You
my boat.
gently up sorry. Excuse me. It's time for What's on Stream.
All righty. So we are headed over to watch Wednesday Addams and what she's doing. You know, love the series, by the way. It's awesome.
Yeah. So I didn't take notes for episode 1 because I watched episode 1 before we. I just kind of did a recap in my mind.
Yeah.
And I wrote it down, but I did take some notes on episode 2. So these are the first 2 episodes of Wednesday on Netflix. It's about the Addams family. Wednesday from the Addams family.
And Wednesday Addams. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. That's a better way of saying it. And so it set a record. So Wednesday's first week on Netflix set a record with 341 million hours watched. So we're talking about
beating Stranger Things. So that they top Stranger Things there.
It's number 2 spot all time in English language TV series behind is it behind Dahmer? Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Which I don't want to do a review of that. No. So I'm gonna be 100% honest.
Okay.
The Addams family bores me.
It what?
Bores me.
It
I have never liked the Addams family. Even as a kid, I'm like, they're creepy and they're kooky, whatever.
The song is in your head.
I know who they are. And it's never interested me. This series had zero interest in watching it. It's fine. So let's go through the first week, first episode. A lot happened. It's fine. I'm giving it an opportunity. I don't want to say it sucks because I'm not done watching it. It could be awesome.
Oh man, no, it's good. I'm just telling you now.
So a lot happened in episode 1. Tell me what I missed. She got kicked out of her school.
Yep, because her brother was getting picked on by the high school swim team, and she put piranhas in the pool during swim team practice. So that's how she handled that. She said, "I got this, bro." She said, "You need to step up for yourself. You need to grow a backbone." Talking about was it Gomez? No, that's Gomez. That's her dad. What's her brother's name? No.
What is the brother's name? Somebody in the chat.
I thought it was Gomez. Anybody in the chat throwing in there, but we'll keep going. Grow a backbone. I got this, and she handled it. So that's how she's headed over to her mom and dad's school.
Yeah. So this is my 10-sentence recap. Went to a new school. Made friends with her roommate eventually, finds out that this one kid thinks he's going to eventually cause the destruction of the entire school, Nevermore.
Yeah, because he can see into the future. Or no, his mom could see into the future. He has telekinetic powers. So,
and she, by the way, Wednesday in episode 1 is starting to get these visions, something that her mother had is
Pugsley.
Yes,
Pugsley, there it is. Thank you, Christopher.
So she's seeing visions as well throughout the whole episode. But then this kid who says, I have to kill you because you're going to cause this complete destruction. Here's a picture of proving it. There's somebody drew a picture. See, I'm right. He gets killed by this monster that's going around killing people. And you see the monster at the end of episode 1. Spoiler, sorry. And you're like, what is that thing?
It looks like a Igor on steroids. If you've seen Igor, he's roided up. He's yoked. I'm like, ooh, good. And he's ugly. It's like,
so what did I miss on episode 1? Did I hit it all?
You hit the main strokes. I say some of the finite details. She's met, her classmates, the ones, it's basically a traditional classroom setting. What the difference is, though, Nevermore is a high school for outcasts, so vampires, people who see into the future, people who move things with their mind, telekinetic.
Sirens.
So this is pretty cool just to see because we know the high school layout, right? My high school, I remember walking in the campus, it was the athletes, it was the cool kids, it was the nerds, it was, the grungers that wore the baggy clothes, that skateboarded, they had to separate. Now you have, you got,
I don't even know what you have now.
You have vampires, you have werewolves, you have man bats, you have people that can read your mind, you have a kid that he has Medusa, he's like Medusa's son, I think, because he has the snakes for there, he could turn things to stone. So it's a cool retake on the high school map when you walk onto campus. So I like that part of what they did with Wednesday. And then
so then episode 2, we found out that this Rowan kid who got murdered at the end of episode 1 is back. So I wrote, Rowan is back, not murdered. It's just very confusing as a viewer. You're like, what? What's the
Right.
mystery here? What's going on? There's got to be a reason, right?
Right. I mean, that's where the mystery of the series is a comedy mystery comes in, and I'm gonna let the video keep playing because I got it on loop. At least I'll get some like people okay if they don't want to hear us talking. There you go. So that brings in the mystery because all of a sudden she saw him get ripped apart, and he shows up the next day while she's sitting in the prisoner's office.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
The principal office. This is further down the line. I think this is another
a
video that popped up. Actually,
I don't want to see that.
all right, my bad. Well, I'll cut it off. There you go. I'll let it so you can see. Yeah, that was the good gushy stuff, man. Episode 3, 4, 5. It gets
I'm not there yet.
3, 4, 5. It gets good. So episode 2, now they're investigating the murder, but then they get thrown off, like you said, where the kid walks into the room saying, "Oh, I'm right here." But you'll see later the whole mystery stuff, little nuggets are laid everywhere right in front of you. And I think when you have a writer that writes a good mystery TV show or movie like this, because if you watch Glass Onion, Knives Out, that's another great movie. Watched last week. I talked about with Daniel Craig and Janine Monáe that just blew it up. Another mystery movie, and this is a series. They lay the clues right there in front of you. You just got to be aware of it. And so they got so many different things going on with Wednesday. The actress Jenny Ortega, if the Golden Globes are going on and the Oscars, I don't know. She's definitely going to win an award. She's done a fantastic job playing the character of Wednesday.
I think you're right, by the way. I think she's going to win some sort of award for her role, which is kind of funny because what is Wednesday? Wednesday is just, she's very subdued. She doesn't have a lot of not emotion, I guess emotion,
yeah,
right?
she's not.
Was that hard to play for an actor?
Sometimes. Some actors can't do it because some actors sometimes it's all about the emotion. They want to show anger. They want to show happiness. They want to show being hard, whatever. And
she's doing great. I'm not trying
to be. Yeah, she's doing outstanding. And then you got Gwendolyn Christie, who if you remember Game of Thrones, well, you have to watch the original Game of Thrones. So she was Brynn in the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, where she was a badass. And then you got Catherine Zeta-Jones, and then of course Christina Ricci she obviously is in the series as a school teacher. She is the madam of the house that Wednesday and her roommate, the house, it's a dorm. So it's kind of like a where you send off the kids to school, right? Was it, can't think of it.
Boarding school?
Boarding school, boom. It's like a boarding school. And so she's the house mother. So she makes her appearance, being that she was one of when they rebooted Addams back in the 90s, she was Wednesday then. So to have her in this movie, golf clap on that one. Good job. So that was the first 2 episodes of Wednesday.
Well, hold on. I got a couple more.
Go ahead.
So Wednesday keeps having visions, episode 2.
Yep.
Eventually she says, I'm either going crazy or something else is going on here. And she goes back to where this kid was killed, finds his glasses, says, that's it. And then we later find out that this Rowan kid who's back at school is not really Rowan. He's some sort of shape-shifting guy.
Yeah.
He's a fake Rowan because the hand.
Yep.
The hand.
Thing did it. Thing did his investigation. I would love to have a Thing running around the house having my back.
How does he see?
Great
How
question.
does he know what happened?
Great question. He doesn't see. He's sign language and everything. So
I know, but how does he follow? So you go send the person who can't see.
Maybe somewhere in between his fingers he has a nose where he can sniff people. I don't know. That's a great question though. How does he see and get around? Well, we know how he runs, but how does he know where to go, dodge stuff?
Does he have like what bats have?
He might have sonar. That's a great question. Great question about Thing there.
Then Wednesday keeps having these visions. She's looking for that book that has the missing page because she took the page.
She took the page from the kid that showed him, said, "This is my mother prophesied you will come to the school and destroy the school. I'm here to stop you."
And then I forget how it ends. Honestly, I just watched it last night, but I wrote someone tries to kidnap her at the end. How does episode 2 end? I don't even remember now.
I didn't get to that. I watched it, but it's been a couple of weeks since I watched it. So
that's my question, though. That's my question. Side question, real quick, with Wednesday, because okay, I think it's rated TV 14.
Yeah.
Would you let a 9-year-old watch Wednesday?
Yes, and with conversations after.
Okay.
I'll say, you got any questions? I
Because
would say,
episode 1 shows like severed arms
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
blood splattering. And I know my 9-year-old would not be able to handle that, but she constantly says, "Hey, can I watch Wednesday? Because everybody else is watching it." I'm like,
Right.
everybody else is watching it. This is TV 14. Your friends are 8 and 9 years old.
Right. Well,
And
see,
they're just sitting there watching like severed heads.
I say my 9-year-old, I have my girls ready because I'm a horror guy. So I was there watching. I have mine watching horror movies. Probably, I think around 8, 9 years old is when I started them.
But it's TV 14, so at least the people making the ratings say, "Hey,
I'll
maybe
say,
this
look,
age."
Just say, baby, this is a movie or a TV series. They're not really dead. It's just for makeup. It's all makeup. It makes it look real. They do a good job. So I let them. That's the conversation you have afterwards.
I think you're right, because basically, I think it depends on the maturity of your own child too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's the thing I have tried in the past to explain to my daughter is like, listen, this is all make believe. This is none of this is real.
Right.
And they just do a really good job of it. They're making it look real. So
fantastic job.
And by the way, that's one thing, that thought is one thing that makes me, like, when I watch certain movies, like, that's part of the reason I don't think I get scared so much in movies.
And that's what I try to tell people. My wife, anybody that I know, a lot of people, my friends, even big football players that I play with are terrified. Oh my God, I won't watch that. I'm like, man, you like 315 pounds. How are you scared of Jason? You big as Jason?
How are you scared of a story with fake blood?
Exactly.
Like, none of this is real. So when I see these things, I'm like, oh, I don't watch sometimes these scary movies or whatever and get scared. I'm more like, oh, how'd they do that?
Exactly. Like, oh, that was good. I'm like, yeah, dap them up. That was a good one right there. Or yeah, I see how y'all wrote that in there. Great writing or great special effects, great graphics.
Yes, exactly. Like,
that's what I do.
They crush those special effects.
But when it's bad, I'm like, really? They got me watching this nonsense. I'm like, wait, that's supposed to be blood? Or that's supposed to be a severed head? That's supposed to be a ghost? Like, come on, y'all. I've been watching horror movies since I was 5. You got to bring it, man. Austin, man, what's up? How you doing? I'm doing good, as you could tell. I'm talking about horror movies and how good they need to be, how good they need to look on the big screen here. So real quick, I know we got to let my man John go. He got to get running here. So John, hey, we just recapped the first 2 episodes of Friday. Wow. I made up a whole new series. Wednesday, I'm on Netflix.
Friday, the TV series, baby.
Yeah, we could do Friday, the TV series. Ice Cube, Smokey, they could get back together. We never know. That's the Friday I'm talking about.
You know what, Ahman? Not joking. Ice Cube comes back, reboots Friday TV series with a whole new cast.
Oh, he better. Hey, I need to be Debo. I have to be Debo. Or I have to be like, even though John Weatherspoon has passed away, God rest his soul, he was the dad. Maybe I could be like his ghost or something.
Sure.
Because his dad character, boy. Didn't I tell you?
He was great.
Didn't I tell you to clean up the kitchen? Yeah. He said, yeah. He said, didn't I tell you that last night? He said, yeah. Boy, I wish you would sleep right now. I'll pop you in the head and make you go clean up that kitchen or take the garbage out. He said, boy, didn't I tell you to take the garbage out last night? He said, yeah. Why you didn't take it out? Oh, it was tired. Boy, I'll smack you in the head, you take the garbage out.
Now, would Friday, the TV series, this is why I envision it. Now I got to go.
You gotta go.
A whole new cast, but include the former cast and work them into the storyline.
You work them in like they did with Christina Ricci in Wednesday here. You got to do it. You don't force it. You make it.
It wouldn't be like Ice Cube 25 years later or whatever, right?
Right.
I mean, it would, but it wouldn't be focused on him, right?
Right.
Yeah, it'd be a new. Yeah, I agree.
It'd be like his kids and
something like
their kids or whatever. Other people in the same neighborhood moved in. Something. There you go.
God, they could crush if they did it right. They can make that so.
We said it here first on the Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge.
Ice Cube, are you listening?
Are you listening? Ice Cube, D-O-double-G, everybody. All right, John, you got to run. Hey, let everybody know where you can find you real quick.
At John Audius Radio, that is my Twitter. Also, Joncast Podcast. That's JONCAST Podcast. That's on Instagram. That is also on Twitter. I do like Wisconsin sports stuff. Pretty cool talking about the transfer portal in my last episode with a new volleyball player for Wisconsin. She's 6'7", by the way.
God bless.
They've got a 6'9" and a 6'7" player.
Oh wow.
But it's crazy. All right, go check it out. See ya.
All right, John. See ya. And you could tune in to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge on TikTok. And my handles on Instagram and Twitter are MindGreen30, all one word. Check that out. And we'll be back next week. We will have the COO, Anthony 300 Lucas of the UEL. And he was a former coach. He is now just the CEO because I guess he had a lot going on, which is still with the organization. So if you remember, I interviewed Titus Walker, who is the CEO of the UEL, which is United In Gamers League. Check them out there on Instagram. You could type in UEL or spell out the whole thing. They're on Twitch too, have their own Twitch channel and YouTube channel. They have a podcast. They're doing a lot of big things. And it is the MMA of esports. So remember that, the MMA of esports. Just think about that. You got the MMA. We know what MMA is. We all watch mixed martial arts if you didn't know what that stood for. So think about that. MMA of esports or MMA of video games. Think about what they do at the UEL. So we got one of the organizers that runs that business, that company, that league, coming on the show next week. He was not feeling well. He would have been on today's show, but he wasn't feeling well, a little down on the weather. So we said, man, let's push it out a week, get you on next week so we can have a great show with you. So tune in next week. We're going to interview Anthony Lucas and have all the fun little stuff that we do, this or that, game releases, quick and hitting news bites, and recapping Wednesday episodes 3 and 4. Great series. If you haven't watched it, fantastic. If you like comedy, if you like mystery, that is your series. Please watch it, do it. And we'll be back here, same back channel, same back chime, here on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, and I believe we're on Twitter too. And eventually we're going to be on LinkedIn because you can throw this thing on LinkedIn. I didn't know that. I just found that out early this year. I'm like, what? LinkedIn too? I said, that's dope. So Bear Fan, Big B, Eeyore, Notorious, Austin, Justin, Christopher Holly, new in the chat. Hello, and thank you for coming in. Everybody that, even if you lurked and I didn't see your name pop in the chat, how you doing? Hope everything's good for you. But have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch y'all next week. Oh, almost forgot. I'm doing a new podcast. Not a new podcast. I'm doing a show on Twitch called Let's Go Football. We're rehearsing tonight, but it's going to be on tomorrow. So watch me. I believe it's going to be like 5 to 8 or 5 to 7, something like that. But check my Discord. Jump in my Discord now if you didn't already. Do that so you can know. I will post about it, talk about it. That show, we're going to be talking about football. Its playoffs is right around the corner for a lot of teams. So we'll see and talk and have some fun. So check me on that. That's going to be on Twitch. Let's Go Football. I think that's the channel. I'm not sure, but I'll clarify all that before the show starts tomorrow night. So hope everyone have a great rest of your Wednesday. Hump Day. And see you next, or I'll see you tomorrow on Let's Go Football. Be in the chat. If not, I'll see you next Wednesday. All right, y'all, let me break this thing down now. Get the music going. Get the music going. I like this little music. The dance pop. See y'all later.